Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. And this time I'm looking at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 8, otherwise known as Jojolion, Chapter 28, The Terror of the Higashikata Family Garden. And we see that the attack from last time is continuing. That crazy architect guy has touched Jojo, and now all these pots are just zeroing in on him, and when they hit them, they shatter, and the pieces still are trying to crush him. And when Norisuke gets far enough away, he realizes that the attack only has like a limited short range, and two, that it really only seems to be going after Josuke. So he's like, dude, let me help you out. And Josuke's freaking out because once again, he still doesn't trust, Norisuke 100%. And he's like, nah, man, just let me help you out. So he uses soft and wet to help him slide a little bit. And then when they get out of the range of the attack, it breaks off. And, Jojo's basically like, man, somebody keeps attacking me and basically touching me in ways I can't see. And so he's like, all right, let's go into the basement and we'll be safe there. But then Tsurugi is like, oh no, you guys, Dad, you gotta get, Grandpa, you gotta get away from that guy. My sickness. And he's obviously, been told some kind of weird story by somebody. So he basically closed the hatch in fear, and they're like, oh, great. Now we're out in the open. We don't know how this guy can touch us, and his weird power is totally going after you. And Norisuke is like, you probably know this guy, because I think he's the guy who killed Kira. And Jojo's like, I'm thinking both of us, both Kira and the other person who was fused, into this body to make me, who I think is me, mostly me. I think the killer knows both of us and is basically gunning for at least one of us, if not both of us. So, man, and once again, if Jojo had his memory, this wouldn't be a big problem. But since he doesn't, this guy has all the cards. He knows, who both Kira and Jojo are, and obviously knows some of his weaknesses. But Jojo doesn't have any idea who this guy is or what he can do. So they're desperately trying to, at least catch this guy. And so, once again, he kind of uses his, semi-teleport to touch them both again. And like, crap. Darn, we both got tagged. What's going to happen? And all of a sudden, they're like, something's coming for us. Something's definitely changing. And it's Attack of the Killer Chestnuts! Which doesn't sound too bad. But, they're raw chestnuts, so they have those barbs. So even if you smash them, you then just get all these needles in you. And they're like, fudge, we really got to get in that hatch now. And that's basically where the chapter ends, with them really desperately trying to get into the hatch. And not a lot happens. This is basically oh man, they are really screwed chapter, where we kind of get a little more insight into this guy's stand and how it works, but still not everything. And little ramping of the terror, although killer chestnuts just sounds kind of amusing. Once again, a lot of hints about like how Norisuke is like making a big deal about Josuke, but not making a big deal. Like, I feel like a lot of his words are clues to what, his relationship is to everybody, but, just kind of like little hints. A lot of stuff that I think, like, when you look back on it, you'll be like, now I see why he was saying that. But most of it is probably going to be them finding out a way to either convince Tsurugi to let them in, or use one of their powers to get in. As they said, it isn't like a super secure like bomb shelter door. It's just a locked hatch for storing fruit. So it can't be super hard to get into. They just have to be a little clever. So I'm thinking powers more than persuasion. But the funniest part is definitely, Jojo being like, man, I gotta save the girl. And he's like, why are you talking about that girl so much? I mean, that's Joshua's girlfriend. And Jojo being like, look, I think you got the wrong idea about her relationship with Joshua. And he's like, oh, I see. It's an unrequited love. And he's like, you know what? I'm not. No. This family, yeah, sure, that's not entirely right. But if you want to think about it that way, that's okay. Just the look on his face of like, oh, definitely like father, like son. But let's not get into this, all right? Yeah. But fun if somewhat short chapter. It's not actually short, just kind of one of those more kind of terror of somebody's power chapters. But curious to see what happens next chapter. So I will see you guys then. All right. Bye bye.